is poppin', y'all, everybody? It's your man, Cloudboy Bales, and welcome to another episode of Wiskel Sports Weekly, where the Packers. Ladies and gentlemen, Houston, we have a kicker. The Packers defeat the Houston Texans via field goal, 24-22 in the final seconds. This was a game, we outplayed them, and we almost lost. This was going to be one of those games that I was about to rip everyone a big one for losing. And I said it, turnovers are huge. I'll say this, the defense played fantastic today. Despite, giving up 22 points, like a big portion of those points were because of turnovers. And that was the only thing that kept the Houston Texans in this game. We outplayed them. Yet it was a game because of simple things like that. Our game ball automatically, obviously, will go to Brandon McManus for giving us the game-winning field goal, his only field goal of the day from 45 yards, hit 3 extra points. He had a great day. Defense and special teams were the reason why we won this game. Jordan Love, I wouldn't say this was his greatest game. 24-33, 220 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Fortunately, he got to stop throwing the interceptions. I did predict he was going to throw a lot of those this year, but I'm hoping he can really turn it around. Josh Jacobs on the ground, 12 carries for 76 yards and 5 catches for 16, and his first career touchdown catch. Finally. It took long enough. Not much from everyone else. Romeo Doubs, 8 catches for 94 yards. Dontavian Wicks, 3 catches for 48 yards and a touchdown. Tucker Crabtree for 33 as well as a touchdown. Jaden Reed was only held for 2 for 10 and Christian Watson a catch for 9. Bo Melton a catch for 8. Ben Sims a catch for 2. The only other turnover today was on a punt. Corey Ballantyne, unfortunately, had a little muffed punt here. Well, it was muffed punt. It was one of those plays where he touched the ball and it became a live ball. So unfortunately, it obviously gave Houston plays. Another unbelievable game by Evan Williams, leading the game with 9 tackles. And how about Eric Wilson? You know what? The game against the 49ers where we lost, I was going to give him the game ball, but unfortunately we lost, so I couldn't do it. And I was going to give Eric Wilson the game ball today. But unfortunately, obviously my rule is when a kicker gets the game-winning kick, he automatically receives game ball. It doesn't matter. But 6 tackles, including 2 sacks, and 4 tackles for loss, 2 quarterback hits, and a pass defended. What a day for Eric Wilson. Really, he is the game ball today, but he played a fantastic game. Xavier McKinney also with 6 tackles as well as a sack. Rashawn Gary finally got a sack today, 5 tackles, hit the quarterback 3 times. He pressured the heck out of Stroud today. Stroud was not able to do anything because Rashawn Gary was all over the ball, and that was really more important. And the most important part about this game was there was times where we were pinned deep, but Daniel Whelan had 5 punts today. My goodness, Daniel Whelan had a phenomenal game on special teams. He delivered 3 punts in a row of 50-plus yards. In a row. And that's what obviously helped. The third one, of course, was the drive where Houston drove into field goal range. They got the field goal, and, that's that. And then we were able to drive into field goal range ourselves. Good day. And then Dobbs with a couple catches to really get us into that rhythm. Houston's side, C.J. Stroud was only held to 86 passing yards, 10 out of 21 for 86 yards, being sacked 4 times, and then 5 carries for 19. Joe Mixon was obviously the only offense that Houston really had today, 25 carries for 115 yards and 2 touchdowns, and did he have any catches? 2 catches for 9. To be honest with you, they got to work on this run defense. The stars that we face against, the running back stars, are just shining against us. We saw Jonathan Taylor completely ran all over us. Saquon Barkley ran right all over us. Kyron Williams ran right all over us. Now Joe Mixon ran. We need to do a better job containing the run because we have not done a good job at all this year. And that is something that really needs to happen. On the receiving, their biggest receiving yards was one catch for 28 yards for Dalton Schultz. Diggs had 5 catches for 23. Kate Stover had 1 for 15. Xavier Hutchinson had 1 for 11. That's it. That's it. Nothing from anybody else. Pretty crazy, right? A day for Neville Hewitt had 9 total tackles as well as an interception that, honest to God, was almost a pick six, but thankfully because of the defense, only was a field goal. D'Angelo Ross had 8 tackles. Jake Hansen had 7. Derek Singley had 6. And the other interception was by rookie Kalen Bullock, who a lot of people are really thinking is going to have a breakout season for the Houston Texans. Kaimi Fairbairn was 3 of 3 from field goals. He's a great kicker, not going to lie. And they punted a lot as well. This was a game, I thought was going to be very offensive, but it turned out to be the defense was the reason why we got the victory. Now, obviously, they went right down the field, and I think it's different, but, there were times where you couldn't rely on their defense, but we're starting to rely on it a lot more. This is the first time we're actually starting to see that. I get it, that one Hutchinson catch was unbelievable, and that honestly would have made it a longer field goal. They could have missed it, and it would have been a different game. But shout out to the Packers for being able to get the job done. Realistically, almost all the points that Houston scored were because of takeaways. And if I feel like we could have really outplayed this team, and we outplayed this team, I feel like this would have been a better, bigger blowout if we wouldn't have turned the ball over. This was a sloppy game. Penalties were insane. I think we were offside like 5 times in this game. We have to do a little bit better. This was sloppy. We outplayed this team, and honestly, we still almost lost to this team despite that. And you know what? This train has just started. We're going to January. Slowly we turn, step by step, inch by inch. The train is going to go, and it's going to run, and it's going to go far. And by the time we get to January, they're going to build on this momentum. This team has so much momentum right now. It's insane. And that's what is crazy about it. I can't wait to see what happens. But that's important. Bears, obviously, were on bye this week. Did not play, so they will remain last in the division, sitting at 4-2, which is just crazy to think about it. And one team from the NFC North did lose today. The Detroit Lions and the Minnesota Vikings they faced off today, obviously, and in an insane game that came down to the very end. The Detroit Lions were able to knock off the Minnesota Vikings on the road. What an insane game. Minnesota is legit this year, without a doubt, but Detroit was able to get the job done. I think Detroit is the best team in the NFC this year. I think they are the team to beat. I think it's pretty clear. They don't have Agent Hutchinson, but I don't think it matters. I think it's going to be I think the NFC North is just going to be a deadlock right now because of the victory. Detroit has the tiebreaker at the moment. It's going to be tough. But most importantly, Packers are only now 1 game apart from both these teams. It's going to be a bloodbath, and that's for sure. Next week, the Green Bay Packers go into Jacksonville and face the struggling Jacksonville Jaguars. Even though they did get a win against the New England Patriots, any road game is going to be tough. Now, Jacksonville has not been that good this season. But you know what? Hopefully, this wasn't our best game. So maybe next week we even have a better game on the road. And that's what's very important. We face the Jacksonville Jaguars on the road. We host the Detroit Lions, which would be a game likely that Tom Brady will call. And then we're at bye week. Already. This is how crazy it is. We are already almost to our bye week. And then afterward, that's where it gets difficult. But anyways, especially because you got like Miami and San Francisco, and then you go against Chicago for the first time and face Caleb Williams, who not everyone's thinking, oh, this will be hard, but this is going to be hard. I mean, the Bears actually look legitimate too. So it's going to be a very, 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 very tough stretch to the rest of the season. But I think, if we keep on winning these games by bye week, I feel like we're going to be in a very comfortable state. Jordan Love is no Aaron Rodgers. He's no Brett Favre. He's right in the middle. Can make some conservative plays, but also can take some risks. And that's what I really like about Jordan Love. Aaron Rodgers was just too conservative at the end of his career. That's different. Jordan Love actually takes shots. And once he gets comfortable with this offense, I can't imagine what's going to happen in the future. So that'll be that. So if you like what you see, subscribe below, comment with your thoughts, and as always, we will see you next time. Go Pack Go.